Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sisters. So this is the translation of a message that she sent to me. The translation reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, my story, it goes on like this. I want to confess to you that I steal the money from the guys that I'll date. Like if you meet me on social media, then I come to your house, I am even able to steal money even from your banking app. But I use this other marine spirit. For me to get this marine spirit, it was not an easy thing. I had to go on a fasting period. This was for 2 weeks. I was only surviving like on your basic. I would eat yogurt. I would wake up somewhere around 12 midnight. That is when I would eat some light food like yogurt. Then the rest of the day, all that I will be doing will be drinking water. I went so thin at that time, me and my friend, when we had visited this other old lady. So this lady, when we visited her, she told us that she worked with the marine spirits and she wanted to give one marine spirit, one for me and one for my friend. But when she was looking into our future, you won't even imagine it that this woman, you won't even believe it, that this woman claimed that in the future I was going to be married to a pastor. So I am a pastor's wife to be. So this woman then said that she wanted to remove some other spirits. But when she said that she wanted to remove some other spirits, I suspect that she wanted to remove the Holy Spirit from my heart because of some of the things that she made me to do. Some of the things that this woman made me to do, she told me that I was supposed to go and sleep with a man on top of a grave. Then I had to go and sleep with another man near a church or in the church premises if it happens that at that church there will be no security at all. So this proved to be very difficult. Mind you, when I did these things, I was only 12 years old. I don't even know where did I get all that courage to do all those things that me and my friend ended up doing. So after this woman had told us to go on a fasting period, that was when she said that the possession, it had started. So by the time that this marine spirit was possessing me and my friend, that was when we were supposed to go on a sinful spree. Like we had to go around sleeping with as many men that we could and committing a lot of sins. And at that time, I think that she wanted to make sure that the Holy Spirit, when he would be looking at the life that I was living, the Holy Spirit will just feel disgusted at me and my friend. So me and my friend, we obviously had started sleeping with men, because as for me, I started sleeping with a man when I was only grade 6. At my parents' house, we used to have a lot of tenants that were staying at our house, and most of them, they were like your bachelors. So there was one guy who used to call me into his room, and one day he told me that he wanted to give me some money. So after he had given me some money, he then taught me how to sleep with a man, and slowly but surely then I started to sleep with him. Even my parents, they did not even know that this is what was going on with their daughter. So by the time when we had reached 12 years old, I was more like a mature woman. I knew everything that a woman does with a man when they are in the bedroom, and I was very much experienced. Me and my friend, we then went out to this other club, but it was like one of those poor people's clubs. And then when we went there, there was a guy who approached me and told me that he was like in love with me. Since we knew what we wanted to do, then me and my friend, we then said that no, for me to be with him, he was supposed to look for a second partner so that we can share the alcohol together. The man was so excited, he rushed outside. And when he came back, he was with this other man whom he claimed to be his own friend. And we started to drink beer. We drank so much beer with the money that we had been given by our own sugar daddies, because we wanted this man to get so drunk. So after this man were like drunk, my friend, what she used to do is that she would go around with a small bottle of brake fluid, and she had been told that brake fluid can actually make a man to have a blackout. So she used to date this other man who was a mechanic. He had been told by that mechanic, and the mechanic had said that if you put like maybe even a few drops of brake fluid into a bottle of beer, when that man will be drinking the alcohol, then that man will actually get so drunk he can even have a blackout. So my friend used to do that when she would want to steal your phone or the cash that you will be having. So when these guys, when they were like drunk, so they started to touch us, and we sensed that these guys, they wanted to sleep with us. My friend then said, how about we go to my place, because my parents, they are not there. And these guys, they were like happy, and we started walking. So when we were walking, we had to go through this other graveyard. Me and my friend, we then went into that graveyard like that traditional healer had told us to do. We went into that graveyard. If people know, there is this other graveyard that is in Highfields. That is where we went with our guys. Then as for me, I chose this other grave, at least that had a tombstone. I went and I slept on top, and that drunk man came on top of me. Then we slept together. And I felt that this man, he was about to produce. I then pulled out his manhood as I was holding it. Then I removed the protector. Then I started to play with his manhood, because that healer had said that we should make sure that the seed of that man that will be sleeping with you, his seed is supposed to fall on top of the grave. And that is what I did. Even my friend, even though she was sleeping with her guy in a standing position, but she managed to do it. But as for my friend, she said that she did not even have the time to make that man to wear a protector. Because the guy, he was about to have a blackout, so they just slept together without using any protection at all. As for that guy, we just left him there because he had a blackout. I don't know what happened to this guy when he woke up the next morning, when he found himself sleeping at the graveyard. But as for the other guy, he was a little bit okay, but he kept on complaining and saying that he was too weak. So we then felt sorry for him, and we asked him where exactly in Highfields was he staying. We then went to his place, and we just left him right next to the place where he said that, I think that this is where I stay. And when he was about to get into his yard, then the guy just fell down, and we saw that if we try to assist him, maybe there will be people that would see us. So we just ran away, and we returned to that club where we continued prostituting ourselves. After that, we then returned to that same traditional healer. This was the next morning, and we told that traditional healer that the first task was complete. We had successfully slept with men in the graveyard, and we had made sure that their seed had fell on top of the graves at the place where we had made love to those men. Traditional healer was happy, and she reminded us that the final task that we needed to perform, we had to find men that will be willing to sleep with us right next to a church or inside the church premises. So me and my friend, the very next day at night, we then went to this other place where we started to drink beer. If people who stay around waterfalls, maybe they know this other shopping center that is called Zindoga. So when you are around that place, there is another Roman Catholic church. That is the church that we had targeted. So the next day, me and my friend, we then went to this other place that is called Zindoga Shopping Center. We then started drinking beer, and like always, there were guys that were coming to the place where me and my friend were sitting, just having a nice time, and we managed to secure two guys that started drinking beer with us. My friend, as quick as she was, she just managed to drop a few droplets into the beer bottles that belonged to those guys that were with us. They started to complain, and they said that they were feeling a little bit dizzy, and it was already dark. Then my friend said, no, if you are feeling dizzy, let us find a place where we can just make love, then you boys can go. So these guys, then we told them that we needed to go to our place. We then sneaked into the church premises, and with the way that these guys were drunk, they didn't even realize that we had brought them into that church premises, and we looked for a spot where it was really dark and it was like really scary. Then we hid ourselves behind this other small statue. Me and my boyfriend, we just made love whilst I was in a standing position. My friend on that night, she chose to lay down and her boyfriend came on top, and they made love. After the deed was done, we just ran away. We left those two guys there. I don't even know what happened to them, but we were satisfied with the things that we had done. The very next morning, we returned back to that traditional healer's house. So the healer then told us that the possession was now complete. So now we had our own marine spirits. There was this other particular trip when I came here to South Africa. So when I came here, it was because I had met a man who is from Zim through that same WhatsApp group. So this man, when I came here, he said, "You are too nice. Can you become my wife?" But unfortunately, I disappointed him because the marine spirit cannot allow me to get married. So the only thing that I did is that I acted as if I was just an innocent young woman, but at the same time, I was just using and wasting his time. I was using him, and this man, he was like my ATM that was there in South Africa, and all that I had to do was to press the right buttons. This man, he used to send me a lot of money each and every time. When he would say, "I have sent you some money," at least it was somewhere from 5,000 to 7,000 to 8,000 rands, and he would send me this money maybe after 4 to 5 days. That was when this man would send me this money. So these are some of the things that I have done. I have been taken to different countries with different men when they are on their vacations. They don't know that when they say that I am in love with you, they are not in love with me, but they are attracted to the marine spirit that possesses my body. Even when I am sleeping with a man, like when we are doing woman on top, what these men do not notice is that I change, my body changes, then it will become sort of like a serpent. Then that serpent will be making love to these men. Yo, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our dear sister right there. So I hope that you understood the translation that we gave you. This story, it came from the translation of a message that I received. Strange things do happen in this world.